Hello. All right. Welcome to Saturday Core and Recovery. If you are currently in the class, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a comment in the comment section by clicking on the video and going to YouTube, and then just type something in the chat so I know you're there. For this class, you will need a foam roller and or a ball of some sort. We're going to do a little bit of trigger point release, seeing that it's a very rainy, cold day today. It feels like something good to do. We'll get started here in about a minute or two. Again, if you are just tuning in, if you wouldn't mind just dropping a comment in the comment section by clicking on the video, that'll direct you to YouTube, and then from there you can leave a comment. No juggling. Well, hard to juggle with one ball. Actually, that's how you start but to learn to juggle. You practice throwing the ball at the same height, back and forth, and not looking at it. All right, let's go ahead and find a nice comfortable seated position. Feel free to sit on the ground, or to elevate your seat, you can sit on a block. It can be nice as well. Well, if I need an A's hat, maybe send me one. Birthday's coming up. All right, let's go ahead and find a nice comfortable seated position. Do a little bit of breath work, and then we'll get into the foam rolling. The idea is, where did that ball go? There we go. The idea is that we're going to take the breath practice that we do here and then translate that into the foam rolling. So we're going to actually breathe into those muscles that we're trigger pointing and releasing. Okay, so we'll do cyclical breathing. I want the focus to be really on the exhale this time. So we'll inhale for 6 counts, and then we'll exhale for 6. And what I want you to focus on with the exhale is really engaging your core as hard as you can, pulling that belly button in as far as you can. That's going to help the diaphragm tent up, which creates less space in the lungs, meaning that the air has to be forced out. This is also the type of engagement that you need to do heavy lifting like deadlifts, squats. You need to be able to engage that transverse abdominis, that really big, deep core muscle that's involved with exhale. All right, so inhale for 6, exhale for 6. Focus on the deep exhale, pulling the belly button back and in. Let's all inhale together. And exhale. On your own count, in for 6. Exhale 6. Good. Go ahead and let that breathing rhythm and practice go. Let's go ahead and grab our ball. We're going to begin with a little bit of work for our shoulder and the muscles around the shoulder. So for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to lie on our sides. The arm that we're going to be trigger pointing, I guess would be the right way to say it, is going to be out to the side. And where I want to be putting the ball is right here, right where my lat comes and meets my shoulder. Okay. You might have to move it around a little bit until you find that nice sore spot. And then you'll stay there. If you have another foam roller, you can put that under your leg for a little bit of support. So again, find that spot that's really tender, and we're going to hold there for about 30 seconds. Feel free to take nice deep breaths. If you want, maybe bend the elbow, internally rotate a little bit, externally rotate. Kind of moving the muscle over the ball. All right, let's go ahead and find another spot. Kind of in that same area, maybe you roll a little bit more towards the shoulder blade. Oh yeah, there we go. Find your happy spot and hold. Again, if you want to add maybe a little bit of rotation there. Good, and release. Now we're going to put the ball in between our shoulder blades, and since we're working with the right side, or whatever side you're working with, you're going to just go to that side a little bit, maybe 2 inches or so from the spine. Okay, so we're in the rhomboids here. Start kind of mid back there, and then you can roll up if you want, or down until you find a happy spot. So for this, I'm going to be on my back, arm out to the side, ball in between the shoulder blade, head on the floor. You can move around a little bit till you find a spot that's really tense. For me, that tends to be up towards the neck, the upper trapezius. We hold a lot of tension here. And then once you find that spot, go ahead and hold and maybe do a little bit of movement with the arm. Maybe a little rotation, kind of play around with what feels good. All right, find another spot. It can be nice and tender when you get that ball right up against the shoulder blade. Again, find that spot. And then hold and move the arm if you want. Maybe cross the arm over the body and then open up. Good, release that spot. Maybe roll down a little bit more. Find one more spot. Same thing, move the arm. Or just sit there if it's painful enough. Maybe don't need to move the arm at all to really feel it. And good. We're going to go ahead and switch over and do the other side. So let's start by getting again right in that spot where the lat, this big muscle here on the side, comes and meets the shoulder joint. It's going to be kind of right under your arm there. A lot of muscle attachment in that area, so that's a good spot because you will loosen multiple muscles at the same time. Kill two birds with one stone, or as the vegans say, feed two birds with one scone. Find your happy spot, and then maybe add a little bit of rotation in the arm. Maybe get a little wrist action in there too. Mobilize the wrist while we're trigger pointing. Remind yourself to breathe. I just forgot. Good. Find one more spot, kind of in that general area. Good, and release. All right, so we're going to do the same thing we did before where it's going to be in between the shoulder blades. Let's start with it up here, kind of upper trap, and then when we move it, we're going to move it down, so kind of middle. That'll be more rhomboids, middle trapezius, and then we'll move it down for the final one to the lower area, the lower attachment of the trapezius muscle. Okay, so we'll be on our backs. Start with the ball kind of up high, that upper trap area, arm out by the side. Move it around a little bit until you find a spot that's particularly tender or sore. And then you're going to hold it there. Oh, yeah. Good. And then from there, if you want, add a little bit of motion with the arm. This is going to help break up any scar tissue. Maybe try turning your head side to side. Good. Let's roll down a little bit. So now we're going to be in between the shoulder blade and the spine. Rhomboid area is where a lot of our pulling muscles attach. Again, a little bit of movement side to side. It'll probably feel good here to move the arm across the body. That's going to open up some of the space in the shoulder blade and the upper back. Good. Last one, roll down. So you're kind of at the tip of your shoulder blade there, at the bottom. If you can see, the ball is like right there. Find a happy spot, and same thing, move the arm. Good, and release. All right, we're gonna do 2 more spots, and then we're gonna do some movement routines that are gonna help mobilize that area, and hopefully we have some more space here to work with. So these are a good one to remember if you ever have tightness or trouble or immobile shoulders or shoulder blades, to get into those spots right under here, 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 and here. And then the last one we're gonna do right where the pec and the pec minor come up and attach to the shoulder. So it's going to be kind of in this area here, okay? You can feel with your fingers too, the muscle will tend to get a little bit more dense and stiff as we get closer to the shoulder. All right, so we're going to take the ball, we're going to get it right into that spot. Let's have our arm out to the side. Roll around till you find a spot that's a little tender. And then I'll just demonstrate with this arm so you can see. Maybe make 90 degrees with the arm, and you can slide up and pull it down. Okay, that's going to move those muscle fibers again over the ball. Good, and let's switch over to the other side. Right in that attachment for the pec and the pec minor to the shoulder. Find your happy spot and then move that arm around. Good, and let's go ahead and move that ball out. Come into a nice child's pose. Feet together, knees wide, hips back, arms out in front. Take a moment here to really reach through your fingers. Really feel your shoulders open. Good. Let's tuck the toes. Lift the hips up into the air. Take a moment here to pedal your feet out. Good. Shift the weight forward into a plank. Right foot outside of right hand. Twist into that leg. Really press through that bottom hand. See if you can feel a little bit more space and openness through the chest and thoracic spine. Good. Back to plank. Switch sides. Rotate. Good. Back to plank. What we're going to do now is we're going to shift back into a child's pose, but you're going to keep your knees off the floor. Okay, so weight is in the toes and the hands, and then I'm going to shift forward back to plank. Rock back, pull your weight forward. Good, and back to downward dog. Opposite hand, opposite knee, back down. Opposite hand, opposite knee, back down. Maybe opposite hand, opposite ankle, back down. Maybe pause there for a moment. See if you can grab the bottom of your foot. Come back. Good. Walk the feet forward to the hands. And then we're going to slowly roll up. Very nice. All right. I'm going to come back to a seated position. Let's go ahead and use a block to sit on. We're not going to do too much core work today. This is mostly going to be recovery. Right arm out to the side, palm facing down. Cross the arm over your body. Opposite arm comes up, pulls in. What's really common is for us to hike the shoulder here, drop it down. Take those nice deep breaths that we practiced at the beginning. Good, and switch. You want to stretch too, Kat? Yeah? Good, and release. One arm over top. You can either put it behind your head, or if you can, try to slide it down in between the shoulder blades. Other arm on top. Pull that elbow in and reach up. So up and in. And then try to pull your rib cage down by keeping your core engaged. If you want, you can lean a little bit, opening that side. Good, and release, switch, left arm up and over, right hand comes on top of that elbow, grabs the elbow, pulls it in, and then try to reach up with that left elbow. Good, and then maybe add a little bit of a side bend there. Good, and release. Interlace the fingers behind the head. Open the elbows wide, so reaching. See how my shoulder blades slide to either side. Keeping that space in the mid-back, I'm going to bring my elbows in towards each other. From here, I'm going to curl down, dropping my chin towards my chest. Good, and release. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Reach down towards the floor first, and then from there try to reach up. Make sure that you're not flaring your back, right? We want to keep that core engaged here. Down and up, getting that stretch in the shoulders. Good, and release. Last one. You're going to make fists. Bring your fists together behind your back. Lift your chest, and then try to bring the elbows together in the front. If that's too hard, try it with hands on your side, and then bring the elbows in. Good, and release. Go ahead and stretch anything else out you need to. That is going to be the class for today. So that is a great sequence that we just went through for recovery for the shoulder and all the stuff around the shoulder. So just to review, first spot, ball, and that attachment point for the lats and the rotator cuff. It's kind of all right in there. And then in between the shoulder blades on both sides of the spine. And then attachment point for the pec and pec minor. And then do a little bit of mobilization and stretching afterwards. I don't know if you felt it. I definitely felt it. I had a lot more space, especially in my overhead reaching and in between my shoulder blades. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be here Monday and Wednesday. Well, pretty much here. I'm here 24/7. So if you need me, you know where to find me. All right. Have a good one, everyone. Enjoy the rain.